speak to Sir Roderic Lyne, who was the UK's ambassador to Russia when Vladimir Putin had just come to power. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Now, you wrote a letter to the Times that appealed for people to keep the lines of communication open with ordinary Russians. What's your concern here?
My concern is very clear. Um, we feel extremely angry and emotional about this appalling suffering that we're seeing, but we also need to think carefully about what we do. And we want to punish Putin and his associates. We want to bring the maximum pressure on them and against them in order to stop this war. But that means that we should not be punishing the people who are opposing him. It is Putin's war. It's not the war of, I think, most of the Russian population. So we shouldn't lash out against all Russians.
Mm.
We should actually try to communicate with them by every possible means, get the truth through to them. Um, for example, I don't think it was a very clever thing of Apple and Samsung to say that they would stop supplying smartphones to the Russians. I would parachute smartphones into Russia so that we can talk to the Russians, send pictures to the Russians, and help the Russians, not only those who are already very bravely demonstrating against Putin, but others who've so far been taken in by his lies, because it is only ultimately the Russians who can change their leadership. And it's only through a change of leadership, I believe, that this war is going to end.
That is a very big ask of the Russian people, isn't it? I mean, I think it's something like 11,000 have been detained so far for protesting. It's that seems impossible. It seems a great thing to hope for, but just if you look at just the kind of the scale of the clampdown on these people, old women being carried away by four officers, children who delivered flowers to the Ukrainian embassy, I think it was, being put behind bars. I mean, it's really difficult.
It's not impossible. Yes, it's really difficult. But Putin has already lost, even before this war, a lot of support in Russia.
Mm.
The effects of this war are going to bite deep into Russia. Already, word is coming through to ordinary Russian people in quite far distant parts of Russia about their sons being killed in Ukraine, about conscripts being killed in Ukraine. One fairly brave senator in Russia, the widow of Anatoly Sobchak, has stood up and said that out of 100 conscripts in one detachment, only 4 came back. Now, as the word gets around, the mood within Russia is changing, will continue to change, and this will bring such pressure on the leadership that there will come a time, you can't say when, it may take a very long time,
Mm.
but eventually such pressure that the only way for Russia to get out of Ukraine is for the leadership to change. So either somebody within the system is going to have to change it, or the Russians more widely are going to have to rise up, use every means of civil disobedience in such numbers that Putin's security forces cannot hold them back,
Mm.
and that there is recognition that there has to be a change of leadership and Russia needs to get out of Ukraine. And that's the only way that I can see the leadership being changed and the situation being changed.
Okay. You said at the beginning that we should continue talking to the Russians, as in Russian people. Should we continue talking diplomatically to Vladimir Putin, as President Macron has done?
No, I cannot see the point of it. I cannot see why Macron keeps having these long telephone conversations with Putin. That's an open invitation to Putin to try to put pressure on Macron to give him a long lecture of Putin's very paranoid view of this situation.
Mm.
And the plain fact is that Putin is so far in that he isn't going to get out. He is going to keep trying to flatten Ukraine so that he can get control of it. And I just see that there is no possibility, alas, much as I would like it, of negotiating some form of so-called off-ramp for Putin.
Right.
Putin was offered a negotiation as an alternative to war. He rejected that. He is only interested in obtaining the surrender of Ukraine.
Okay.
And the Ukrainians have shown by their very courageous resistance that they are not interested in surrendering, and
Right.
we have to support them.
But Sir Roderick, just finally on that, I understand what you're saying about giving Vladimir Putin an outlet for his bizarre theory of why he's doing what he's doing. But out of these talks between Macron and Putin, we're led to believe came this idea of a humanitarian corridor that's been operating for the last 47 minutes.
Well, I hope that works. Actually, humanitarian corridor was something that was being discussed directly between the Ukrainians and the Russians when they met in Belarus.
Mm.
But a humanitarian corridor is a palliative, it is not a solution, and we are not going to get a solution by negotiating with Vladimir Putin.
Sir Roderic Lyne, thank you very much for talking to us.